Today I fucked up by accidentally sending my boss a risque text meant for my partner. All right, Reddit, buckle up, because this one's a doozy. My name is Percival Montague, and I never thought I'd be sharing a TIFU story that could rival any of the insane tales I've read here. So, here goes nothing. It all started on an ordinary Tuesday. I was at my office, working for a rather strict, no-nonsense boss named Lucius Wellington. Now, Lucius is the kind of man who strikes fear into the hearts of one of the most seasoned employees. He's the CEO of Wellington Enterprises, and let me tell you, he's not someone you want to cross. I was juggling multiple projects as usual and counting down the hours until I could head home. You see, my partner, Anastasia, had been away on a business trip, and I was eagerly awaiting her return that evening. We had planned a romantic night together, and I was buzzing with excitement. In the midst of my busy day, I took a short break to check my phone. Anastasia had sent me a flirty text, hinting at the steamy evening we had planned. Feeling playful, I decided to respond in kind. I typed out a risque message detailing exactly what I intended to do to her when she got home. Yes, it was explicit, but hey, it was for her eyes only. Or so I thought. In my haste to get back to work, I didn't double-check the recipient. Instead of sending the message to Anastasia, I accidentally sent it to none other than Lucius Wellington. Yes, you read that right. I sent an explicit, highly inappropriate message to my boss. I didn't realize my mistake until I received a notification. My heart stopped as I saw Lucius's name pop up. For a moment, I thought I was hallucinating. My hands were shaking as I opened the message, praying it was some sort of cruel joke. But no, there it was, my explicit message staring back at me, delivered straight to my boss. I could feel the blood drain from my face, and a cold sweat broke out on my forehead. I wanted to crawl under my desk and disappear, before I could even think of a way to rectify the situation. My phone buzzed again. This time, it was a reply from Lucius. I hesitated, my thumb hovering over the notification. Finally, I mustered the courage to open it. Percival, my office. Now. I could barely stand as I made my way to Lucius's office. My legs felt like jelly, and I was convinced everyone in the office could see the sheer terror on my face. As I approached his door, I took a deep breath and knocked softly. "Come in," his stern voice called out. I entered, my heart pounding in my ears. Lucius sat behind his massive mahogany desk, his expression unreadable. He gestured for me to sit down, and I obliged, feeling like a condemned man facing the executioner. "Percival," he began, his tone icy, "I received a rather inappropriate message from you a few minutes ago." I swallowed hard, my mouth dry as sandpaper. "Mr. Wellington, I am so sorry. That message was meant for my partner." "Anastasia, it was sent to you by mistake. I didn't mean to—" He held up a hand, silencing me. "I don't need to hear the details. What concerns me is the level of carelessness you exhibited. This kind of behavior is unacceptable in a professional setting." I nodded vigorously, desperate to show my contrition. "I understand completely, sir. It was a terrible mistake, and I assure you it won't happen again." Lucius studied me for a moment, his eyes piercing. "You're a valuable employee, Percival, but this incident cannot be overlooked. I'm placing you on probation. One more slip-up, and you'll be out." I left his office feeling a mixture of relief and dread. Relieved that I still had a job, but dreading the thought of facing my colleagues who undoubtedly heard about my blunder. As I returned to my desk, I could feel the curious eyes of my coworkers on me. I could practically hear the whispers and feel the judgment. My good friend Bartholomew approached with a concerned look. "Percy, mate, what happened? You look like you've seen a ghost." I sighed, deciding honesty was the best policy. "Bart, I sent a very explicit message to Lucius by mistake. It was meant for Anastasia." His eyes widened, and then he burst out laughing. "Bloody hell, Percy, that's one hell of a screw-up." Despite my embarrassment, his laughter was infectious, and I found myself chuckling along. "Yeah, tell me about it. Lucius put me on probation." Bart's laughter died down, and he clapped a hand on my shoulder. "You'll get through this, mate. Just Keep your head down and avoid any more mishaps." I nodded, appreciating his support. The rest of the day was a blur of work and anxiety. I couldn't wait to get home and see Anastasia, to tell her about the disaster and seek some comfort. When I finally walked through the door, she was there, looking as beautiful as ever. I pulled her into a tight embrace, savoring the feeling of her in my arms. The next few weeks were a roller coaster of stress and paranoia. I double-checked every message I sent, terrified of making another mistake. Lucius kept a close eye on me, and I did my best to prove that I was still a competent, reliable employee. One day, Lucius called me into his office again. My heart sank, fearing the worst. Had I done something wrong again? "Percival, sit down," he said, his tone surprisingly calm. I sat, bracing myself for whatever was coming. "I've been watching your performance closely these past weeks. You've shown dedication and a willingness to learn from your mistake. I'm lifting your probation." I blinked, barely able to believe my ears. "Thank you, sir. I won't let you down." He nodded, a faint smile playing on his lips. "See that you don't." As I left his office, a wave of relief washed over me. I felt like a weight had been lifted from my shoulders. I couldn't wait to tell Anastasia the good news. That evening, we celebrated with a bottle of wine and a hearty dinner. I realized how lucky I was to have her by my side, supporting me through the highs and lows. In the end, the whole ordeal was a harsh lesson in the importance of caution and professionalism, but it also taught me the value of forgiveness and second chances. So, Reddit, that's my TIFU story. It was a wild ride, but I came out the other side a wiser man. If there's one thing to take away from this, it's to always double-check your messages. You never know whose eyes might end up reading them.